What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, it's been almost a full 6 months since the San Diego Comic-Con initial Phase 4 slate announcement, and what's more, well over a year since we found out that Marvel Studios would be reacquiring the rights to a ton of characters from Fox. But still, people can't help but wonder when we may see our first X-Men in the MCU. And although Kevin Feige's been quite public about them prioritizing the Fantastic Four, he's also made mention that mutants are on their way. And now a film that nobody suspected may hold the on-screen debut for the first member from an X-Men roster in the MCU, and even crazier, tied directly to an Avengers Endgame Easter egg that we might have all missed. We're gonna break down this new report that Psylocke will debut in Shang Chi, and at first, while that sounds crazy, there's a ton of comic book precedent to support it, including one very famous comic book run. We're gonna tie it all together and explain how Psylocke herself is actually tied to the Mandarin, what this means for the storyline, and how we can expect to see this character in Shang Chi, as well as the Easter egg that they gave us in Avengers Endgame. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff, including a limited edition Infinity Saga box set. We just gave the first one away days ago. If you want to be entered to win either of the PlayStations, the box set, or any of the other future prizes we give away here at the channel, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So with Black Widow right around the corner and set as a prequel in the middle of the Infinity Saga, followed by the Eternals, really a prequel for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, followed by Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that is rumored to maybe even touch on the Fox Cinematic Universe, you can forgive people for overlooking Shang Chi as the film that would seed the earliest mutant Easter eggs, or even feature an appearance from the X-Men and its Psylocke at that. And I can admit, on face value, this story sounds kind of crazy, but trust me guys, it's not nearly as crazy as the story itself in the comics. And while it is pretty complicated, we're going to break the whole thing down and how it leads to her becoming the Mandarin for a short time. And it all starts with the Easter egg back in Avengers Endgame. Now, when Steve Rogers sees Peggy Carter when they're back on the base in the 70s, we hear her say Brian Braddock, and that's of course Captain Britain. And while every Avengers Endgame Easter egg video was quick to point that out, almost none made mention of his twin sister, Elizabeth Betsy Braddock, who doubles for him as Captain Britain a couple times, but goes on to become Psylocke in the comics. And that's what leads us directly into our report today, that Psylocke will debut during Shang-Chi, and she actually has a ton of connective tissue, which is why I didn't dismiss this as a rumor or fan fiction, but rather it made me very excited and forced me to work out the details of an older story that, again, is super complicated, and especially the first time I read it, but it's not so complicated that we can't break it down here, and goes a long way in explaining her appearance. So let's start there. She's originally the twin sister of Captain Britain, goes on later to take the moniker of Psylocke, but eventually she's captured by the Hand. Now, if the Hand sounds familiar, but you don't know who they are, it's because you've seen them before, but not in the MCU, rather the Daredevil show. That's these guys, and while they haven't been established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe just yet, they've probably been there the whole time. We're going to get to see them during Shang-Chi. Either way, Psylocke incurs amnesia while she's fighting, which makes it the perfect time for the Hand to kidnap her, brainwash her, and then alter her appearance to look more East Asian so that she can better blend in Hong Kong, where she becomes their official top assassin. Now, this is the comic book cover from said run, which we showed in the prologue. On the right, you can clearly see the original appearance for Betsy Braddock. On the left, you see the altered East Asian looking appearance, and in such, she's brainwashed into believing she's Lady Mandarin, the top assassin for the Hand. And even though later she's eventually rescued and breaks out of the brainwashing, she retains the ability to generate that psychic sword for which she's so well known for. Either way, her existence in Hong Kong at the same time that Shang-Chi will eventually be in that area makes it a logical conclusion that they'll run into each other, especially considering most rumors put a tournament on the table, tournament where the Lady Mandarin may take place. Of course, with the real Mandarin being involved in this film as well, and with him already having problems and a precedent set in the MCU for other people to be imposters and try to imitate him, this would just be another layer to that connective tissue into the Infinity Saga. Now, to add extra layers of complication to this original Psylocke story, eventually Jim Lee would become the head artist. They would make a Japanese woman show up in the comics, claimed to be the original Psylocke. That's where the story ended up getting super complicated, but eventually Jim Lee would leave to form Image Comics with his team, and Marvel promptly retconned all of that and said that the original Psylocke was the real Psylocke, the one with the altered appearance and the brainwashing. This new one that had shown up was simply another imposter. Either way, it makes sense to have this storyline play out in Shang-Chi, or at least a couple elements of it, as it all works into a bigger Marvel Cinematic Universe. And with Brian Braddock being established in Avengers Endgame, it leaves the door wide open for his sister, may not be his twin but younger sister, to be able to play perfectly into the MCU and the future. Now look, I'm sure that Black Widow and the Eternals and all the rest of the movies coming will hold secrets, as Kevin Feige said they would, not only for the Infinity Saga, make us see it in a different light, but rather contextualize the future phases. A lot of us are super anxious about mutants, but the truth is they've introduced characters into the Marvel Cinematic Universe already that should have been mutants, but they've explained their superpowers by other means. And until they go about explaining exactly who are mutants, how they became that way, and who are rather just enhanced individuals, it's going to be hard to make a differentiation between the two just by seeing them on screen. I think the Eternals might set the job of doing this, but rather Psylocke being a member of the future X-Men becomes even more exciting. If she shows up during Shang-Chi, which is less than 18 months away, then we're going to have our first official X-Men in the MCU. I'm thinking there's a chance that the mutant ability of some of these characters may still be altered in the case of a super soldier serum or something of the kind. With her, it could be the explainer for why she still looks so young, if she truly was the twin brother of a Brian Braddock that was Captain Britain during the 70s. But again, we just don't know yet, and until they do a blanket explainer about this, understanding what happened with Scarlet Witch, how the Mind Stone or the Time Stone or any of these other Infinity Stones and their gamma radiation could have unlocked a latent gene set up by either the Celestials or the Eternals, it's a big question mark. But still, her inclusion definitely leads to the X-Men, more so rather than mutants, and what I would warn all of you against, and I'm going to do the same myself, is wait for the official explainer. Don't see a character during Black Widow that you know is a mutant and has been in the past and just assume that marks the beginning of mutants in the MCU. It's been a long time coming. Kevin Feige and the top brass over at Marvel Studios know we're all chomping at the bit for a clear definition. I doubt they're going to leave this ambiguous and leave us in the dark, specifically when it comes to mutants. There'll be an explainer, much how there was about the Infinity Stones, the origin of the universe, what happened with all that, and again, Eternals looks like the most likely place for this to happen. But in the same way I just admonished all of us about worrying about how quickly the mutants will come into the universe, let's do the same with the X-Men. Kevin Feige has made it known that the Fantastic Four are taking precedent, and you can imagine over at Marvel Studios, given how bad Dark Phoenix was and how long that franchise ran with as much inconsistency and recasting there was, they want to give it some time. But as characters from the rosters of the X-Men start to show up in these movies like Black Panther 2 and Shang-Chi, we can just get more and more excited. Speaking of which, one final thought I'll leave you with. I mentioned that Psylocke does eventually get rescued from the hand and broken out of the brainwashing. The person who rescues her is none other than Wolverine. How crazy it would be to see this in a post-credit scene for Shang-Chi. Guys, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. How crazy it would be to see her show up in Shang-Chi at all, let alone that whole story play out. And did you know anything about her being the twin sister of Captain Britain, about her having her physical appearance altered, and that being the same place that she earned the psychic sword ability? Let me know what you think about all of this and how awesome it would be to see her specific backstory play out in a film like that. I'm all ears, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 550,000 subscriber mark. We are headlong into that. We'll easily hit that by month's end. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video. That'll automatically enter you to win all the rest of the prizes here at the channel, including the limited edition Infinity Saga box set. We just gave one away only days ago. If you missed that announcement, just scroll back through the channel. You'll see it annotated in the title. If you want to be entered to win the last one we're giving away here in a couple of months, either of the PlayStations or all of the future prizes we announce here at the channel, as we'll be doubling it down and giving away twice as many throughout the next year. All you have to do, all the same rules apply. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners are announced in video at the end of videos, and if you've missed the prior announcements for the PlayStations, again, just scroll back through the channel channel, you'll see all of the titles are annotated to reflect where the winners are. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, if you've been with me since the beginning, I cannot thank you enough for helping me build this fan community. It has been an amazing run. I am so excited for everything to come in the coming year and years in the next couple of phases, and very excited to share it with you guys. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.